The time is 12 o'clock. Good afternoon and welcome to ABS News at noon. The Anambra State's Commissioner of Public Utilities, Honorable Obi Nwankwo, has undertaken the inspection of 1 by 7.5 MVA ABS injection stop station being installed by the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EEDC, ahead of its commencement of operations. We have details.
The 7.5 injection substation, when fully installed as expected to happen in few weeks' time, would boost power supply in Okpuno, State Securities and Securities to at least 18 hours per day, as explained by the supervisor of the project, Mr. Eji Kokoli.
Okpuno Security, Okpuno area, and the Secretariat area, government house, and the environment. We also affect if the side. So it will boost like 18 hours.
The commissioner, who was accompanied to the inspection by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. James Eze, and the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the ABS, Chief Uche Nwora, explained that the project was made possible by the ongoing collaboration between the state government and the EEDC to improve power supply in the state. Expressing his satisfaction with the work and level of progress recorded, Commissioner Nwankwo, who traced the success to December 2018 when the plans to start the project was hatched, said this was in line with the state government's efforts to ensure boost in power supply, thereby increasing business activities in Awka and the environs.
So excited, and I'm very happy to commend the EEDC management for keeping to their promise, because we have a very good collaboration, with them, relationship with them. Very happy, and I want to commend them so much for them to have done that, achieved that now. And also they have installed the 1 by 15 MVA in Agoka too, which is going to boost power supply in Awka up to 18 hours also. The area that the 15 MVA is going to capture in Awka is vast, but in reality what we need in Awka is 2 by 15 MVA, so we need another one. We are still discussing. The governor has indicated his interest in supporting to buy some of the 15 MVAs.
The statewide World Mock Congress of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, has been described as a litmus review of the party's grassroots strength in preparation for future elections. Some stalwarts of the party made this known while addressing their ward members during one of the mock congress held at Ward 1, Amobia. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe was at the venue and now reports.
The mock congresses, which were held across all the APGA wards in Anambra State, are a prelude to the local government and state congresses, as well as the national conventions of the party scheduled for May this year, also provided opportunity for assessment of the party's leadership at the ward levels. The state head of service, Barrister Edo, who was present at the Ward 1 Amobia mock congress, noted that the congress was an important process in the strengthening of the party's grassroots presence and stressed the need for the whole process to be transparent and responsive to the demands of the party.
At this period, more congresses and so on, we want to be sure, even Ganania, in line with the directives of the party. We are here to monitor how it is done and to ensure that it is done properly.
Also at the same ward was the Principal Secretary to Governor Willie Obiano, Sir Willie Nwokoye, who reminded the ward members that while the Congress was significant in building grassroots internal democracy, it would also help in rebranding APGA to stand a successful test in future elections.
We have inadvertently helped to secure some offices. This Congress to begin to show the grassroots namely internal democracy.
The APGA Secretary in Awka South, Mr. Ifeanyi Mogonu, who was at the ward to monitor the process, said the peaceful congresses in all the wards in the council points to harmony in the party and pleaded with party members who are genuinely aggrieved to join hands to chart the best way forward for the party.
This is about making sure that the party is harmonized, making sure that things are done a proper way, give and take, compromise, making sure that at the end of the day, when we have 21 people, they are ready to work for the governor.
The Ward Congress at Ward 1 Amobia, just like in other wards, was used to renew the mandate of some members of the ward executive who satisfied the party's criteria, while those that did not were replaced through a unanimous vote. From Amobia, Awka South Council area, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Mustafa Dandaura, says the command will continue to partner journalists in its fight against crime. He stated this when the newly elected executive members of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, Anambra State Council, paid him a courtesy visit at the command headquarters in Amobia. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo was part of the entourage and now reports.
Mr. Dandaura, while asking media practitioners to always cross-check their reports before publication, assured that the command will always support journalists in the state for effective and smooth discharge of their official duties. The commissioner said the command will, as requested by Nigeria Union of Journalists, assist the professional body in arresting any identified fake journalist operating in the state without belonging to a recognized medium.
Any journalist who has no media house, printer media and electronic media, if he doesn't belong to any one of these, I don't believe he's a genuine journalist.
Speaking earlier, the state chairman of the union, Mr. Emma Ifesnachi, commended the Nigeria police for its unrelentless efforts towards ensuring effective protection of lives and property, as well as its cooperation with practicing journalists in the state, calling for its sustenance.
We asked for your assistance, and the command was gracious enough to offer us that assistance. And I want to state that the election was peaceful.
In a remark, the secretary of the union, Mr. Emma Udaga, called for effective synergy between the security agencies and the media to drastically reduce fake news and hate speech.
Let me use this opportunity to call for public support for the media, because the public often expect too much from the media, even when they have not given anything to the media. In this respect, I'm calling on all stakeholders in the Nigerian project to support the media.
From the police headquarters in Amobia, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The Anambra State Government has commended a non-governmental organization, Marcel Ofomata Foundation, for partnering the government in her cultural preservation and attitudinal reorientation drive. The commendation was conveyed on behalf of the state government by the Commissioner for Diaspora Affairs, Indigenous Artworks, Culture and Tourism, Mrs. Sally Mbanefu, when she led government delegation on a courtesy visit to the founder of the foundation, Dr. Amechi Ofomata, at his country home in Usofia. We have details of that.
Mbanefu, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mr. Tony Ezenwaka, stated that the ministry received the news of a donation of a roped bronze to Iboku Museum by the founder of the foundation, noting that it was a great signal to many partnership possibilities in the future. The commissioner explained that the ministry was created 3 years ago by Governor Willie Obiano with a mandate to create synergy between the state and the diaspora, accumulate and profile indigenous artwork associated to Igbo race, and advance cultural and tourism drive in the state to boost economic investment. She expressed appreciation to Dr. Ofomata for keying into government's agenda and pledged to partner the foundation in the ministry's upcoming cultural events in the state. The founder of the foundation, Dr. Ofomata, while appreciating the ministry for the courtesy visit, stressed that he has enjoyed the privilege of being conducted around museums in many of his travels around the globe with great experiences of artifacts. He expressed his willingness to translate his experience to the advancing of similar campaign in his country.
Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board has delisted 76 computer-based test centers for various infractions during the recently concluded Unified Tertiary Matriculations examination, raising fears that results from those centers may be cancelled. JAMB announced the delisting just as it appointed a senior advocate of Nigeria to prosecute about 100 persons allegedly involved in various malpractices during the UTME that held between April 11 and 18. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede disclosed this in Abuja while speaking on admissions into tertiary educational institutions in Nigeria at the 23rd Annual Seminar of the Nigeria Academy of Education. The board had on April 22nd said no fewer than 100 UTME candidates were arrested nationwide by operatives of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps and the police. Oloyede narrated how some of the malpractices, their closed-circuit cameras, caught exam cheats in some CBT centers, saying professional writers hid in the toilets and later replaced the UTME candidates who pretended they went out to the toilets to ease themselves. The Securities and Exchange Commission has urged the beneficiaries of deceased investors to step up efforts to claim their dividends. The Acting Director General, SEC, Ms. Mary Uduk, said the move was in a bid to further reduce the quantum of unclaimed dividends in the Nigerian capital markets. She said the purpose of the program was to give participants an understanding of the operations of the capital markets, especially in the area concerning the transmissions of shares and administrations of estates. Uduk, who was represented by Acting Executive Commissioner Operations SEC, Mr. Isiaku Tude, said the category of deceased investors had contributed to the growth of unclaimed dividends as their beneficiaries, as indicated in the will or letter of administration, had yet to claim the investments and accrue dividends through the share transmission process. A charter plane carrying 143 people and traveling from Cuba to North Florida in the United States ended up in a river at the end of a runway on Friday night, though no critical injuries or deaths were reported, officials said. A Boeing 737 arriving at Naval Air Station Jacksonville from Naval Station, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, with 136 passengers and 7 crew members slid off the runway into the St. Johns River, according to media reports. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office posted on Twitter that a Marine unit responded to the assist. The plane was in shallow water and not submerged. Everyone on the plane was alive and accounted for, the agency posted, with 21 adults transported to local hospitals in good condition. On the sports scene, Nigeria and Saudi Arabia on the 20 squad will battle in Vienna, Austria on Sunday as both teams continue to perfect their preparations for this year's Under-20 World Cup in Poland. Both teams were scheduled to clash in a friendly in Jeddah earlier in the year to prepare 7-time African champions Nigeria for the Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations finals in Niger Republic in February, but was called off. With both teams having qualified for the World Cup, Sunday's encounter has even higher relevance, only weeks before the World Cup opens in Poland. The match will take place in Sportschule Linderbrunn in Vienna, capital of Austria, according to the team administrator, Aliyu Lawal. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online. And you can follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And that's the size of our package this afternoon. Don't forget, on the news has been Kamsi Ejiofor. Do stay tuned for the rest of our programs on ABS TV.